Hi all, I'm Sudeep Srivastava. I head the Robotics and Intelligent Automation at Schlumberger. Uh, I'm going to take you through the journey of what automation has been able to achieve in Schlumberger and how we have been able to create impact through automation in Schlumberger. It has been a very, very exciting journey. I'll be very happy to share some of the experiences that we have. A very quick introduction about me. Like I said, I had the robotics and intelligent automation. I have over 2 decades of experience in leading digital transformation teams. I strongly believe automation is a game changer, a big supporter of automation. My job as a leader of automation is to spread the word around automation and tell people and the businesses how to adopt it and what the governance practices to follow and help them create impact through automation. A very quick introduction about Schlumberger. So if some of you don't know about Schlumberger, Schlumberger is a leader in oil and gas services company. It's founded in 1927, so we're almost 100-year-old company founded by Marshall and Conrad Schlumberger. That's how the name of the company comes from, headquartered in Houston. So what we really do in Schlumberger is basically we are an upstream oil and gas company. Our job is to pump out oil either from the land or from the sea, which is called offshore, or a land rig. We have 82,000 people across 140 countries with 170 nationalities. Uh, Close to 33 billion revenue. It's a little older revenue, around 2019. Uh, Things have changed dramatically in 2020, but it's a massive spread across 140 countries and reaching out to the various businesses to showcase the impact and showcase how they can transform their processes and workflow is it's amazing. So here is a quick snapshot of our 3-year journey. So we somewhere started in 2018, early 2018. We have built around 265 plus bots across 5 shared services. Now these shared services are in Malaysia, are in um, Paris, Houston, and across distributed across the world. We have created 28,000 plus automation flows. I'll talk more about it, what it means there. But the impact that we have been able to create is around savings of 540,000 hours of savings, which is equivalent to saving of 270 full-time employees, which itself is amazing. That's the kind of impact that you can see. In fact, we won 5 Perform by Schlumberger award for our automation impact that we have created in last 3 years. And this Perform by Schlumberger Bronze Award is very, very prestigious. It's a global award given to very select few projects that has created strong value, strong impact, and as impact at scale. So getting these 5 awards has been immensely, immensely satisfying for us. We also received an award from EY for doing a very complex implementation of automation across the globe. So these kind of establishes the credibility of the work that we have been able to do. COVID-19 impact, I am sure each one of us have been impacted with COVID-19. And let me just give you a quick glimpse of how it started impacting us last year. So what we really saw is a big um, imbalance of consumption versus supply. So everyone was wanted to cut down on their budget. That is the first impact when everything happened in March across the world. The first impact was to reduce the budget, to reduce the overall uh, spend in automation and across everywhere, whatever we can save, everyone wanted to sustain. But and the reduction in activities happened across the world. Across in Schlumberger also we had massive reduction based on the demand that we had with our businesses. The resizing of the team happened. But again, when the resizing of the team happened, the work still needs to get done. And that was the biggest problem, right? Within 2 months' time, we started seeing a different turn. We started seeing businesses reaching out to us saying, now that we have a reduced team, how do we do the same thing? How do we able to achieve the same thing with the whole, reduced staff now? And this is where the whole digital technologies come to the rescue. And when I say digital, it's complete stack of all the digital technologies that we can use, and automation playing a very big role in that. So in this troubled time, all the work that we had done in 2018 and 2019 gave us the results. This was holding the fort, and this, wherever we had implemented automation, they started coming and saying we want to expand. Where we had not, they said we want to do more, we want to get and help us get into automation. So that's how the business response changed, which was very welcome change, by the way, for us overall. So when we started talking to the businesses, the way we talk to the businesses is around focusing on creating the value. These are focus areas. We will always get fancy technology. We have automation today, the automation will evolve. There is already an AI intelligent automation component being in play right now, and it will get more intelligent from here and all. So technology will get fancy, but that's not what the focus is around. When we get and have a discussion with business, the focus is around creating value. What value we can create for you, how we can create value for you, and then to do that, what is required. So those are three questions probably we try to answer in the beginning. Okay. What we really saw that we have to change the conversation with the business, because the first pushback that you will get anywhere is around the cost, right? Any business will come and say we are hard pressed for the budget, and the troubled times like this is going to be always a challenge, saying budget is limited, how do we do that? So don't talk it about as a cost, right? Forget the cost. Talk about what is the return on investment, what is the ROI that they'll be able to get if they implement this automation solution. And when you change the conversation from cost to ROI, you will see the acceptance. The way we have been able to do is we created POCs, simple POCs, to show them what the solution can do for them and how it can create an impact when it is scaled to a massive level. And that small investment in the POC kind of gives us the result. So it's really not a cost, that it is all about what is my investment and what is the return I am going to get on investment. When you have the conversation like that, you will see the responses being changed now. Now they are not worried about budget, because now they go to their leadership and they show what is the impact they are able to create with this investment, what is the return on the investment going to be. One of the beautiful thing about automation is its faster turnaround time. I lead entire suite of digital stack, which is enterprise mobility solutions, building web solutions, building SharePoint solutions, building chatbot solutions across the different transformation digital solutions is what I lead. But the biggest benefit I see is with automation, with 2 to 4 weeks of effort, you are able to show an impact. You are able to show an ROI. It could be a small POC, or it could be a very simple to medium complex of level of implementation. So that is very refreshing. Here is something we are experimenting, which you'll be very interested in knowing, which, when we talk about this and in other forums, and we have kind of showcased with other companies, and they find this very exciting. In 2020, we did one of the largest hackathons across the world. This was within enterprise itself. So we had 1,509 people participating in this hackathon from 108 cities of the world. This is like a 3-month exercise where we train people into the whole thing. We first crowdsource the ideas. Our biggest problem is, what is the problem to solve, right? You go to business, they will have a perspective, but the people who are on the front line, they are facing these problems day in, day out, right? So they are the best source of problem identification. So we crowdsource ideas, and as you can see on the screen, we crowdsourced around 340 ideas. This is amazing. So 340 ideas, which people said, these are my problem statement. We did not ask about what technology you want to solve and what is the solution going to be. We just asked about the problem, what problem you're facing. So now we have 340 problems that we want to solve. But to lead a session of 1,500 people, it's impossible to do it, without scaling the team that is mentoring them. So we had 120 plus senior managers across different parts of the world in Schlumberger who were guiding this 1,500 people throughout this 3-month process. In fact, we also looped in experts from, technology experts who were helping us and guide us through the whole process. And we had 380 teams participating during this whole process. Now let's take a quick look at what areas we were able to identify from the problem statement that we got. Some of the areas are employee experience, saying how and how we can change and transform employee experience, how we can change and transform service delivery. You will look at around 90 ideas were around employee experience, close to 75 ideas were around service delivery, and close to 65 were automation. And believe me, 65 were marked as automation, but if you take and deep dive in all the problem statement, automation has a role to play. So I can very comfortably say that out of 340 ideas, 100 ideas were pure automation. Now this is a very, very quick win for yourself, right? Because usually what you will do is you'll go to business and say, what problem can we solve for you? But here, now you already have a problem statement which you have crowdsourced. So you go to business and say, here is what we have identified as a problem statement from people on the floor, and we'll be happy to help you to solve this problem. They will be more interested because now you are coming with the data. So it's very interesting, okay? We don't leave it at that, okay? What we do is the 5 winning solution that came out of this hackathon, and we had 150 submissions out of this hackathon, which is massive. And this we have been doing for last 4 years, and these numbers have always grown every year. We started this with a very, very low numbers, around 100 people participating, then 400 people participating, then 1,000 people participating, and then finally 1,500 in 2020. So our CIO is involved, our IT leadership team is involved in evaluating the best solutions around what we are proposing and what came out of this hackathon. And the CIO is funding the top 5 ideas to make it and push it in production. That itself is a great testament to the kind of impact we are able to create with whole hackathon solution. Something you should definitely try. If we are able to find 100 solutions like that, get some funding around it, I think I am sure you can solve 20 problems, which is amazing for you to get started on this. Here are some ideas for enablers to scale, because once you reach to a certain level, let's say 100 bot kind of implementation, or maybe 50 bot kind of implementation, then you are looking to scale in a massive way. And then we realize that there are different enablers that is required to scale further. Okay, things that you do for 50 will not work for you for 250 or 500, right? So one important thing that needs to be in place is the governance that you have to have in place, because more and more automation solutions are going to be created, right? Imagine the kind of resources that it is going to consume in the background. If you don't have a governance of what these automation solutions are doing, and when these automation solutions are going to stop creating impact for us, you have a resource leakage, which is not creating any impact for you. So you need to have a strong governance model, okay? You will also need to decommission the solutions that you are no more requiring it. You can't just keep building on the solution. That's not really going to help. It will probably stop, start reducing your return on investment. You have to keep decommissioning. In fact, you should build an automation solution first phase as part of your 18 to 2 years of plan. That should be the plan, saying this is going to be my 18 months to 2 years plan. And once I achieve this, what is my long-term solution to completely achieve end-to-end process automation for that particular process which we have automated. End-to-end process automation should be the goal where you should be headed towards. Then it is about 100% uptime. Now what we have realized, while we started, we got a lot of excitement and we started doing a lot of these solutions across different groups like finance, HR, and others. We realized that the more and more automation solutions we have built, the more and more dependent we and the businesses are on these automation solution, which means as soon as uh, it stops working, the impact is very high. So we have to make sure that we have 100% uptime for these automation solutions. Otherwise, it will create very, very high disruptions for us. And this we are realizing specifically for finance, which usually runs in the month end, and if even there is a small breakage or something, it impacts them. So we have built around a 24/7 support model to help with the whole process here. So some of the automation initiatives, that we are taking beyond what we have achieved so far, because we already have 265 plus board. We realize the areas that we are touching around is finance, we are touching around HR, we are touching around vendor management services in the product lines. Uh, but what next from here? I think what we have achieved in 3 years is incredible. But again, we want to keep pushing the barriers, right? So the first thing we want to do is create impact at scale, right? Imagine we have 82,000 people and our team is what, 100 people team, or maybe a little bit 150 people between Houston and between India. So that's how the team is distributed. 150 people team can only do so much, right? That is, we only have a limited bandwidth to be able to create so much impact. How do we scale this to beyond to a different level where this can be really, really, powerful? So one of the ways we have figured out how this we can create impact at scale is by empowering the users themselves. Okay, so something we are experimenting with, something our hackathon is basically one of those initiatives out of empowering the users, where if we teach the users how to build their own automation solutions, and if each user are able to create 30 minutes of reduction in their time through automation solution, that is going to be massive. So now imagine, out of 82,000 people, we train 10,000 people in automation, and let's say out of 10,000, only 5,000 people have created automation solutions, which is creating some impact. Let's say 3,000 out of that has been able to achieve 30 minutes of reduction on their daily work. That 3,000 into 30 minutes is impact, massive impact at scale. And that is how we will be able to achieve the scale. But then look backward and see what we spoke about, what you need to do for scale. For scale, we need to create a strong governance model. Okay, so that is something we need to touch upon. And then we are also looking for build your own bot, which is part of empowering the users, where we create a bot store for them, which will guide them and they can actually download the bot and then customize and build their own bot, which we empower them to use some of the bots based on what the problem they want to solve. But some of the problems are very common to every function, right? You don't want to redo everything from scratch. Try to create more and more reusable bots, which basically can be, quickly picked up and then customized and built into a more custom solution only for my particular process. That is going to be very important. Again, you can imagine if you are looking to train around 10,000 people, what kind of training support framework we will require. We will need very, very strong training support. We are trying to do that. We do multiple sessions where we are training people in automation. We are hand holding them to build something. We can't just leave them by training, right? Otherwise, it's waste of their time, waste of our time. So what we are also doing is when we train them in, let's say, in batches of 100 people each, when we train them, we also make sure that they go and build the solution. Then we come together and have them present the solution, what they have done, and showcase to their own leadership what kind of impact they have been able to create. The other important piece is to have the buy-in from the leadership. It is extremely important to have buy-in from leadership. We have realized that the groups that where the leaders are supporting the automation as a journey and as an initiative, it is extremely powerful. We have been able to see very high impact in the places where leadership are buy-in is very high. So first thing you would want to do is get the buy-in from the leadership, showing them the POC, showing them the ROI, and once you have it, put it part of their KPO, put it part of their yearly objective. That will drive people, and we have seen it very, very successful. That is exactly how our finance team did it. They put it as part of everyone's objective and then drove the whole objective, and the objective drove people to kind of build more and more automation solution. Something else that we are trying to experiment right now, as beyond what we have already achieved, is our effort through Automation Anywhere's RE features, right? Which is Automation Anywhere Robotic Interface, right? We are looking to build a human-bot collaboration. All the solutions that we have done today runs in the background. It's unattended automation. But if we get into human-bot collaboration and we build around attended automation, we are opening a new state of problem statements which we have not addressed before. So we have done a very simple POCs with 5 to 10 users, and it was extremely successful at that. And we have an opportunity to scale to 400. If that becomes a success for 400 people, that is going to be massive. And with that, I think we can build 2000 beyond that. Because what this does is it ensures that not automation is not running in the background, but every individual who's part of that particular process is involved in the decision making. So we take out the monotonous robotic work of the people and let the bot do that work, but the intelligent decision making still stays with the person involved there, which means the humans do the intelligent work. They push saying what decision needs to be taken, and then the bot completes the work. And it is extremely powerful, something you should explore. Something else that we have been exploring is discovery tool. In some of the places where people don't understand what my automation problems may look like, you can install these simple tools on user's laptop, which is there for 2 weeks time. You can always tell them what to track and what not to track. So you can blacklist an application so that it doesn't get into their personal space and they feel comfortable. But after 2 weeks, it will give you insights of all the process that people are doing repetitively. And then you'll be able to identify a pattern that why are we doing this particular process 100 times manually, and what is the frequency of this process. And when we are able to recognize that, we will go and we'll be able to, it will give a good insight of what you can automate. So here are some ideas. I hope this would have been very helpful. And it's been great pleasure sharing this with you. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer that. Thank you so much.